Welcome to the MaSter Debater Show, everybody. The show where we solve pop culture's problems, one outrage at a time. I'm Abe, co-host of the Movies and Stuff show, which can be seen live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on this channel. And joining me are three other guys that aren't seeing Captain America Civil War tonight. First up, it's the man that could have drunk 80 Stephen King under the table. He's a writer, a lover, and a friend to everyone. My man, Sean from Long Island. What's up, man?
How's it going, dude? Sorry. Long day.
Yeah, I'll bet. Next up, it's a man for all seasons. And sadly for the ladies, he's now going off the market. The now engaged Jamil Payne.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Jamil, do you have a date set?
May 28th.
There you go. There you go. And finally, it's the host and technical advisor to the Vegetable Lasagna Show, which can be seen every Monday here on this channel. Stepping in for Jack Random today, it is Tom.
You know, of all the things you can say about vegetable lasagna, it is true that it is on every Monday. So that has happened. You know.
Oh, my goodness. All right, guys, as you know, this is the debate show, so I'm going to throw out a couple topics, actually a few topics. I'm going to set a timer on your ass. You've got 60 seconds to make your point, and then I'm cutting you off. You guys ready?
Sure.
All right. I can sense the enthusiasm. It's washing over me. I'm so excited. All right, topic one. Jon Krasinski has been cast to play Jack Ryan, Tom Clancy's globe-trotting super CIA agent. He's the fifth actor, I've been told, to play the role so far. What I want to know from all of you is, when you need a Ryan in your corner, who are you going to call? We have national treasure Alec Baldwin, one of the most popular action heroes of all time in Harrison Ford, the best Batman we've ever had in Ben Affleck, the guy that replaced, or actually I should say picked up the mantle from William Shatner to play Captain Kirk, and we have Esurance spokesman Jim Halpert. All right, we're going to start with Jamil. Battle of the Ryans. Go.
I think, honestly, Alec Baldwin is probably the perfect embodiment of Jack Ryan, but Harrison Ford owned the role. If I had to be honest, I think Harrison Ford, like through two movies, I mean, they changed it a lot, but I think through those two movies, Harrison Ford made the role his own. But if I was just going for a pure version of Jack Ryan, it would probably be Alec Baldwin and Hunt for Red October.
All right. Plenty of time to spare. Sean, I'm kicking it over to you.
I never read the books, but I think Jamil's right. Skinny, 30-something Alec Baldwin was a great fucking Jack Ryan, but I'm going to go always with Harrison Ford because that's the best instance of the finger of doom. When he tells Richard Harris, I will fucking destroy you in that fucking bar with Sam Jackson behind him, you're like, yes. And Krasinski, great actor. He's fun on the Office, but like, who's going to be playing Clark? Josh Radnor from fucking, How I Met Your Mother. He's just too soft. Krasinski, if he could do his face, if that's what you want from it, it'd be fine. But come on, it's Harrison Ford, down to go. I think he's the best. If you want the brute force, done.
All right, Tom, take it away.
Well, I think I've seen a lot of these movies, but I don't remember them very well. I don't know much about Jack Ryan, other than just some vague memories of having seen these. But I think in terms of sort of the character, my basic idea of the character, it's interesting in the casting choices. You see sort of a wide array of either going for a very tough presence or going for just the tough guy who doesn't really have charisma. Like I would say that the best Batman we've ever had, for example, would fall into that. Chris Pine also. I don't see much charisma there. Jon Krasinski seems like you're going very much for a charming sort of character that you're going to be pushing into it, which I feel like Chris Pine is often cast as, but doesn't quite achieve. In terms of Krasinski, I haven't seen that Michael Bay movie where he's an action hero, so The Office doesn't necessarily sell me on it, but I can imagine he has some chops. I think it could be a fun show. And this is the Amazon show, so they'll be able to develop it a little bit even if it doesn't work at first.
Almost got to cut you off.
I started talking fast, yeah.
You were good.
I sped up.
So I don't know. Yeah, for me, it's Alec Baldwin. He's top of the list.
Can't disagree.
No, you really can't. So
National treasure, Alec Baldwin.
Abe, can I ask you a question? Do you think that was the best Jack Ryan movie? I thought when I saw it the first time, I thought like it was a very intelligent, like Cold War fucking flick. You don't get something like that. Him and Sean Connery, pretty fucking cool. You throw in Sam Neill, can't go wrong, I guess.
No,
right?
I think so. I think that is the best one. Patriot Games is a close second, I think. Easily. Yeah, and I guess I think we just kind of go in order of how they came out as far as how good they are.
Do the stories in the books, do they go beyond the Cold War, or are they stuck there? I really don't know.
Well, like there was an attack, right? Like an attack, and the White House was destroyed, and things like that in these novels, something like that.
Well, I thought that was like the Somerville games. My friend was a huge fan.
Yeah.
I tried the submarine one, Hunt for Red October. It was just too technical, but like Baldwin was great. But like Harrison Ford in that Patriot Games, when he's fucking up those fucking guys trying to kill the Brits, it's pretty fucking cool, man. It's a great story, and it had like Catholics, Protestants. It had that whole good IRA thing going, and I guess there's probably some conflict because Jack Ryan, obviously, you're a fucking Mick, so who are you playing with here now, right?
I guess that's a good question to ask you guys real quick. Are you guys Clancy fans at all? Jamil, are you a Tom Clancy fan at all?
I've never read a book, just seen his movies and played some of his
games. Yeah. Tom?
I've probably like moved some of his books off of things before, but that's probably the extent of my real exposure to them.
Yeah, so we see what's holding up your coffee table.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so from 4 not really Clancy fans, Alec Baldwin's the best. That's all I heard. So
I think Ben Affleck would have been a good Jack Ryan if he had a better script.
That was the story of those days for him. He could have been a good Daredevil. He could have been a good Angel. He could have been a good CIA agent. He just never had the good scripts to back him up.
But Abe, before we switch to another thing, I just want to say that was the best Finger of Doom by Harrison Ford ever.
You got it. That was the best Finger of Doom. We're going to move on to topic 2. Will Ferrell has dropped out of a potential Ronald Reagan movie that would have used Reagan's Alzheimer's and slipping into dementia as a plot point. The comments I read were wide-ranging. Look, they've lampooned Hitler, so it's okay to make fun of Reagan. This is censorship. And how about have FDR in a wheelchair race against a toddler? I love that one. So I want to know from you guys, is this project, was it truly out of bounds? And we're going to start with you, Sean.
Oh, the right-winger. Absolutely not. This was not out of bounds at all. I am totally for the First Amendment. Anything deserves to be made fun of. But let me say this. I think Will Ferrell made a strictly economic decision. I think he was probably you know what? A lot of people like Reagan. A lot of people hate Reagan. That's the way it is. Economic decision. I think the free market decided. I think Reagan would be proud of it. This was a total Reagan victory in the whole scheme of things. But you know what? You can make it whatever you want. Anything's game to be made fun of. I was for it, but he made a decision he thought he had to make. That's it. Done.
All right. Tom, over to you.
Well, it comes down to the argument of whether are we having problems with them irreverently showing Reagan making bad decisions, or are we having problems with using Alzheimer's as a source of humor? Because I think you can make a better case for saying that he had some sort of mental disability and then making jokes as a result of that. It's not necessarily off bounds, but I can see how that's more likely to offend people with some validity as opposed to just showing a movie about Reagan, or Will Ferrell playing Reagan is not really that different than him playing George W. Bush. And that was pretty funny, I think. And so maybe it's more mean-spirited to do it specifically under the frame of him not having the capacity to make decisions with any sort of rationale. But I wish I had been able to read the script and kind of see the way it's dealing with it. I assume it's not drastically clever, but I don't want to say for sure. And I don't think it's off bounds, but I can see how it's offensive. So that's where I'm at with it.
All right, Jamil, close this one out, man.
As far as a black liberal goes, I can honestly say fuck Reagan, cause he destroyed my community either on purpose or by apathy. With that being said, nothing is out of bounds, but I do think he is an American president, and he's such a recent American president. And Alzheimer's is a really bad disease, So to make Again, I haven't read the script. Maybe they found a clever way to do it. But to make fun of somebody's degenerative mental disease, I can see how some people feel like that was out of bounds. And this coming from a person that hate Reagan, but So yeah, I mean, it's fine, I guess. But I could understand why they wouldn't want to do it. Cause it's kind of not cool. He's so FDR in the wheelchair would be funny because that's 100 years ago. That's 100 years ago as opposed to 30.
All right, gotcha. So, Tom, it sounds like you're just saying Alzheimer's was basically the reason for the Reagan administration. Was that your takeaway?
Is that my take? No, I just mean in terms of the script. If that's
okay.
If that's where they're going with it, that's a very mean-spirited way to approach making a movie. And I think that's mean-spirited in a way that's not strictly political. It probably means to just be political, but it comes off as sort of, it offends wider than maybe where it meant to offend. Whereas I think you can see that working as, in a stand-up routine for a couple minutes, that could be, funny and not necessarily so far-reaching. In terms of 90 minutes of that might reach further, and I think we'd have to read the script to really say, but I can see how, whether it's Reagan or whether it's just some story about any president having Alzheimer's and it's a comedy and it stars Will Ferrell, that could cause some uproar.
I gotcha. So funny for 3 minutes on stage, not funny in a movie. You've just described Amy Schumer. Sean.
Oh, wow.
Sean, Tom had a lot of points. Is there any one of them you want to react to specifically?
As far as disagreeing with him, no.
Yeah, do you agree with him? You're the right-winger, as you said.
I do roll right, but I don't feel this is about Reagan. This is about free speech. This is about, you can make a movie about anything you want to make. Like I said, I really think Ferrell made a decision because it might have hurt him economically. Jamil hates Reagan. That's fine. Half the country hates Reagan. Half the country loves Reagan. I think any president that's good at his job probably, or their party thinks he's good at his job, has that. But this is a free speech thing. And like I always say, like Abe, you told me, said, let the free market decide. It's so much easier, bro. It's so much easier. I have no problem with it. And then Ferrell might have made a good decision, might have made a not good decision. It has nothing to do with, people said, oh, he might meet Reagan's kids. What the fuck does he care, man? He's, it is what it is. But,
Do we think that, Will Ferrell is not really I don't know if he was quite a superstar at any point, but he's not necessarily bringing in audiences the way he used to. Do you think that maybe signing on in the first place was a way to try to cause enough of an uproar to make enough interest, and then him dropping out was to try to avoid the opposite?
I will say I think Will Ferrell is pretty open with his politicalness. Even Step Brothers, the greatest comedy ever, started with that true George Bush quote. So, and Adam McKay obviously leans left. He just directed a movie, which I haven't seen, which is supposed to be very good. The Wall Street thing.
Big Short.
That's fine. This is what this country is about. It's about free speech. I don't agree with you politically. Probably don't agree with anybody here politically that much, but this is what it's about. This is why our country is great. I have no problem with it at all. Keep it going.
And just to piggyback off what Tom said, I don't know how mean-spirited it is. You can pick on Clinton. Picking on Clinton getting blowjobs in the Oval Office is different than picking on somebody that's slowly dying of a brain disease.
I agree.
Yeah,
I think
agree
it's inherently much more mean-spirited no matter which president you're doing it to.
Yeah.
Wow, this is weird. The right winger is the one that said, hey, fucking do it. Guys that lean left are no, it's not a good thing. Whatever.
Yeah, well. My big question, though, really is, could FDR beat a toddler in a race?
Yes.
You never got past that.
And by the way, you can say what you want about FDR, but that motherfucker beat Germany and Japan in World War II. So, God bless that motherfucker.
There's a history lesson for you, everybody. All right. Well, I think we got that settled. The free market apparently decides Will Ferrell can do it. There you go. Thumbs up. Let's move on to topic 3. Topic 3, and this one's a couple weeks old, but it was so interesting I wanted to touch on it. The BBC has announced that 1/6 of all screen roles must be gay, lesbian, or disabled. That's coming in the next few years. I'm just going to give you all the ball and let you run with it. I just want to know, is this a good idea? Tom, this is you.
Well, I'm curious. This is one where I wanted to look at a little bit more statistics, but I didn't quite have time to. So I was wondering, do they also have one for sort of the racial demographic of England, or I don't know what all the BBC is taking this into account for, but I think, what is it, like Kinsey says 10% of the population is homosexual or something? I don't know, gay or lesbian anyway. So I think it's not inherently a terrible idea to try to represent your the demographics of your audience. I don't really know what their audience is, and I don't know that it's good to necessarily force that. So I think where I always come down on these things is I'm happy to have more creative voices that don't represent the exact same sort of demographic all the time. I don't know that forcing it onto people who are telling different stories or are inclined to tell different sorts of stories with different characters really is creatively helping anything, or if it's really doing anything other than making them sort of the token characters as opposed to real ones.
I got you. Jamil.
I'm all for inclusion and representing different people. I don't know affirmative action for entertainment is really what we need per se. Like, jobs are one thing, but like it's complicated. Just put it that way. It's complicated. I don't think you should be able to force that on people per se. But at the same time, maybe it's a good thing. Maybe that's the only way they can get it if it's forced upon them. Like, I really don't know what TV is like in the BBC. Maybe there's just not enough.
All right.
So maybe it's necessary. Yeah.
Okay, Sean, over to you.
To me again, I'm going to say this all comes down to, again, this is let the free market decide. Sorry to say it, whatever. I don't think it's a good idea. I really don't think any kind of state-sponsored TV is good. If you're a First Amendment guy, it sounds too Soviet Union. And, like, inclusion is good, but, like, why put people in a story that don't belong there? Like, I was actually just thinking about this. Remember the Jackie Chan movie, Rumble in the Bronx? It was a fun movie. We all know it wasn't filmed in the Bronx, but the thing that struck me was there was so many fucking white guys in the gang. I'm like, there ain't that many white guys in the Bronx unless they're going to a fucking Yankee game. I'm sorry. It's bad. If that sounds bad, it's just don't force things into stories that don't belong there. But if you want to do it, it's cool. I just don't think it's a good idea.
All right. So everybody who supports it's a bunch of commies. Is that what we're?
No. I don't think commies. I just think they're lost.
I wonder. Okay, so I'm all for free market deciding as well, but here's where I'm the socialist commie. Do people who aren't? I mean, are people getting the same opportunities though who don't fall into sort of the same people who've been making movies this whole time? Like, do we see gay, lesbian, trans directors getting the same funding to make movies to get a chance at the free market that we've seen the same sorts of people making this whole time?
Okay, who should fund them though? Who do you want to fund them? Like,
in this case, we are talking about state sponsored, so I mean
that's what I don't like.
I can see that, but I feel like I don't know. That's almost a different argument, isn't it? Though I mean, the state can choose who they want.
No, I mean I can't disagree with you. I just don't think state. It seems too much like the obsolete man. Like, you have to do this. I think I have this story about two lesbian girls, which I would love to see, especially if they're hot Jameel, don't lie. You want to see it too? I mean, let's somebody, decide that and let the free market decide how much it goes. That's just the way I am. I just don't think to force shit on people, especially adults, is a good way to go.
Do we think that the end goal, though, is to ultimately balance it out a little bit? So it's forced, it is affirmative action for now. Is the end goal, though, that there's enough exposure that you don't need that going forward at a certain point? Or is this just supposed to be, let's continue to reflect the demographics?
Is it reflecting the demographic? I mean, 16% of the population? I mean, I assume they threw disabled people in there so they could actually bump it up to 16% as opposed to, 8.
Right. I don't know.
I'm actually agreeing with Sean. I don't know how I feel about country funded entertainment. That seems really odd to me. Can you imagine if the government ran Hollywood? Like
that's what I'm saying. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, we all know
you're not as right wing as you say you are because you don't think that Obama's running Hollywood, Sean.
I don't think Obama's running Hollywood. I think Hollywood. I think the government influences Hollywood a lot, but in this country, we still have the voice to say, "Hey, F you, Obama," or "F you, Bush." And I'm not a big fan of any government, to tell you the truth. I just don't think it's a good idea for the government to have their fucking annoying claws over everything and to tell you, "Oh, this is what you got to write." No, who told me what I got to write? My fucking first grade teacher, and I still wrote some creepy horror flick that got my parents called to the principal a few times, but I was proud of that. Goddammit!
And if it's from the studio, if a independent studio mandates that, that's fine. But again, like Sean said, it's
absolutely. I agree with you, Jameel. Totally.
I think Bad Robot has a new mandate like that, don't they?
Yes.
Is it similar sort of percentage, or what do they have?
They want to reflect the population almost exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Except for, I'm sure Jewish directors get a higher percentage than the Jewish population.
Spielberg was the greatest director ever. I loved it. Actually, you bring up a good point because there was always that whole Jewish thing with directors and stuff like that. But, I don't know. It's weird.
We're treading dangerous water right now.
Mm-hmm.
Listen,
I'll just quietly
my whole life is treading dangerous water.
You're getting some comments real quick, Sean. Free markets and lava lamps, 2016, baby.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Well, before we get too sidetracked, I had a question. Do you guys know why is it that the BBC is sort of deciding what gets made in England? Why does that have sort of that monopoly over the art that comes out of it?
That's the whole,
I don't know what that is or why that is.
That's the problem. The government should not dictate art. That's always been a problem, but that's a problem. And
is it that?
Yeah, it's a real big problem.
Well, no, is that the case in other countries though, or is that unique to Europe or to England more specifically?
I think
the Soviet Union, East Germany.
Yeah, England clamps down harder than almost any other Western country. If you don't get your movie through their version of the MPAA, their certification process, it's illegal to show it in the country.
I have a friend that's from Britain that works with me. And he said, he goes, you don't understand. He goes, we don't have free speech in England. That's why you can get sued for anything. He goes, it's crazy. We have it really good here, actually. We really do. And that's my only thing about America. Whether we agree or not.
So I think if you had points, Abe, Sean would win this one.
Yeah, I think so. I think Sean just... Yeah, he racked up a ton of points, I'm afraid.
God, I'm so drunk, too. It's amazing.
Is there any other points anybody wants to make about this? Because, England is a very interesting dynamic. You're right. People, if you want to watch TV, if they pay that license fee, and that's what keeps... Yeah.
How horrible is that? It's insane. You want to give it to the fucking government, or do you want to, Cablevision here is a cool thing, because you can say, you suck, I'm going with you. And just... watch your cable station when you say, I want to fucking go away from you, Verizon. Go to Cablevision and be like, no, I'll give you all this. It's a good thing. Competition's a great thing.
You know what's weird is I dropped cable last fall, and I went to, I don't know what you guys have. We have Cox Communications here, So I go up to them and I say I want to drop cable, and they put up no fight at all. They said, "Okay, we'll take it off. Bring in your cable box." That was I was hoping actually that I would get a bunch of cool free stuff, but no, they were very agreeable.
Oh, so sorry, Tom. So sorry.
They know they suck. That's why they.
Yeah, they had admitted it to themselves almost. They were just defeated. They're like, "Oh yeah, that's what everyone's doing now. So bring in your box."
Well, yeah, cord cutting, that might save the world, huh?
I guess, yeah. I didn't wear my cord cutter's plaid this week, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's no protest going on. I don't want to disturb Sean while he's texting. So, if anybody else has any other points,
Sorry,
yeah.
They're actually attractive girls that have nothing, that won't have anything to do with me, but they might be subscribers though.
All right. Well, thank you. And
All those points.
yeah, piggybacking off of that, I do want to say, if you haven't, please, take the second and click the little subscribe button at the bottom of this video. It's actually right below Sean on your screen. That'd be great. We have a bunch of different shows. We're gonna have the round table next Tuesday with Tom, myself, Jack, and Dan, where we're gonna talk about Captain America. And you're more than welcome to call in. Once a month, Tom, Sean, and myself talk about conservative icon Woody Allen.
Oh, conservative icon.
Free market.
Yes.
Woody Allen's knocks on William F. Buckley are so funny, but genteel. They're gentle. That's cool, man. I loved it.
Yeah. And every Monday, as Tom mentioned, at some point during the evening, there's a vegetable lasagna where they talk about whatever topics pop in their head, right?
Yeah, I don't know what exactly we'll be talking about in this coming one, but it'll be good.
Yes.
I promise.
And one day, Jamil will be on our channel with his friend Jack Random and Kyle Fulton. One day.
Until then, you can find us at the Super Nice website at the Jack Random Podcast.
There you go. There you go. And like I said, I'm on the Tuesday show. Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern every day. Movies and stuff. Top 10 lists or interviews with somebody. So yeah, please, if you get a moment, like, comment, subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Guys, thank you so much for doing this. It was a lot of fun tonight.
Yes, thank you.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yep.
All right.
I won't remember it tomorrow, but it'll be good.
Yeah, well, once it processes, it'll be available for everybody. It'll be great. Now I'm off to see Captain America, chumps.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much again.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.